So welcome back to Zack's Tool Shop. I'm Zack, and this is Tool Fest number 4. And you know what? It's been one heck of a week. I've had a good week, a really enjoyable week. I have right here on the table the Milwaukee Fuel. It's a drill. It's not a hammer drill, actually. So it actually has a hammer function, drill function, and 16 clutch settings. I replaced my standard M12 stuff with this Fuel M12. I have the 6 amp hour battery on it. As you can see, hopefully, let's see, get it in some light. Yep, 6 amp hour battery. So this is the drill. Drill did great. I have a little bit of painter's tape on it for those of you watching on YouTube. For those of you listening as a podcast, you'll just have to take my word for it. I have a small drill bit with some painter's tape on it as a stop. I was drilling some holes to put a magnet on to close our French doors so they would stick in place, because they don't have any locking mechanism like right there at the handles of the doors. They did have like a little slot right there, just like a regular door, but it doesn't anymore because I took it out because it didn't do anything. So I drilled some holes up on top of the door frame and put some magnets there just like you would have for cabinets, and use those to hold the door shut when they close. They aren't very strong magnets, but hopefully there'll be enough force to keep the door closed so it won't cause any further issues, because now we have 2 ferocious dogs, which I'll hopefully put a picture up right here. And these ferocious dogs are large enough where they could open the door if they really tried. They could still open it if they really tried. So that's what I was using the M12 Fuel drill for. Probably overkill. I probably could have used the family electric screwdriver for that, but when I have tools, I like to use them. I've been pleased with this drill. It's not light. It's pretty heavy for a 12-volt product, in my opinion. Haven't got the exact weight on it yet, but you can tell it's a little bit heavier, heavy duty, and it has a 6 amp hour battery on it. The impact partner to this drill, M12 Fuel, has been really good. I've really enjoyed using that impact all week. I was taking a whole bunch of screws out of decking boards to repurpose them into like deck furniture and planters and stuff like that. And it really did a good job of just eating through all those. It has an equivalent power as far as torque to some of my 18-volt drills. I put it up against a Hart brushed 18-volt impact, and it was about a tie. So that was pretty good because it's 12 volts and that's 18 volts. I did have one thing that happened during the week, and it's just on me that I haven't read about it yet. I'm sure it's in the manual. But there's little lights on side of these M12 products. For those of you on YouTube, hopefully you can see, I'll hit the trigger, you can see the 4 lights light up. Well, on the impact, whenever I had the 6 amp hour battery on it and I was using it, periodically I would have an issue where the lights would just kind of do like a wave, like the wave in a stadium, go back and forth. And I didn't look it up, and I'm sure maybe it's loose battery or something, because it only did it for the 6, and whenever I used any other battery, it wouldn't do it. So I'm not quite sure why that is. I'm going to read the manual. I'm going to figure it out. Hopefully it's not a flaw just in the drill. Maybe it's something that's going on that I'm not aware of. I'll figure it out, and I'll tell you guys next week. I was real busy this week. Real busy building a lot of this outdoor treated furniture. I had a lady come by my house, and this is the part that I'm really excited about. I had a lady come by my house and purchase like all the furniture I had built up until now, which wasn't a whole lot. But I had these ladder shelves I built out of pallet wood. I had another style shelf I built out of poplar, I think, and sanded down and put a curve on it. And she bought both of those. And I was like, okay, well. She said, do you have any more? I was like, no, I didn't know people were coming to buy my furniture. Facebook Marketplace, guys. So I built a couple more. She bought both of those. She came back up to the house and bought both of those. So I'm going to continue building a few of those and see if I can't sell those on a regular basis. It'd be a nice supplement to my income I have as a podcaster and a YouTuber and HVAC tech sometimes, and a few other things. I'm a Zack of all trades. That's what I am, a Zack of all trades. I love doing it. I love building stuff. I love ripping stuff apart. I went to the scrapyard recently, got a good payout from that, scrapped several AC units, brought in a bunch of number 2 copper, which is the same as, let's say, dirty copper is what it's called as well. You have clean and dirty copper, number 1 and number 2. It was over $3 a pound, which was very high. And I attribute that to our president. I think our president has caused these commodities to be very high. So on that one account, thanks. Appreciate it that particular day. For an hour, I was a big supporter. So that was a good payout. I'm going to scrap some more. I'm going to try to do a little bit more of that too because I enjoy ripping stuff apart. I've liked it since I was 5. Whenever I was a little kid, and 5 is the number, we used to live in Wilmington, North Carolina, which is the big city in this area, about 30 miles south of where I'm at right now. And my father would bring home like broken appliances. One time, I think there was like a dirt bike or motorcycle or something he brought home. And I would just try to take it apart. I would take things apart. I don't know what the fascination was. If it's just the type of mentality I had, I like to take stuff apart. I know that whenever I do any kind of job, if I don't understand how it works, I'm not happy with it. There's a discontent in my soul, so to speak, if I don't understand how something works. Because I feel like if I don't understand how it works, then I'm not doing as good a job as I could do. So I love to understand how things work. I think that's why a lot of my HVAC friends cut open some of the compressors. They cut open some of the components to see what's inside of them because you want to understand how it works. Because if you understand how it works and you have an issue, you can rationalize what the issue would be and where it would be at, which I think is essential. And I think guys love this sort of thing. They love it. They love to figure out how things work. A lot of my buddies are the same way. A lot of you watching are the same way. We love tools because we like building stuff. And in the end, the tool is only a means of doing a good job building or creating something. So that's why we like tools. We want good tools. And this seems to be the M12 Milwaukee Fuel hammer drill, seems to be a good product. I look forward to using it as a hammer drill. Haven't done that yet. I don't know the next time I'm going to be able to do that. I have a feeling I'm going to put some conduit on. I have a modular home with vinyl siding, but the skirting is brick. I think I'm going to add some lighting to the ends of the house because when we walk the dogs at night, it's dark over there. There's no lighting at all. My wife says she wants it to be like solar powered lighting, but I prefer it to be wired lighting so it's more dependable. We'll see who wins on that account. Probably my wife. We'll get some here's what's going to happen. We'll get some solar lights. They'll stop working when she wants to go out to feed the dog because there wasn't enough solar charge because one of them is going to be under a tree probably. And then I'll have to put wired lighting up anyway. So we'll just let it play out. It'll cost 3 times as much and take 4 times as long. But that's fine. That's fine. I love her. That's why we have the dogs. Yes, I love the dogs. If she's watching, I love you, dogs. I just walked them. It's a great way to stay active, actually, which I'm a big fan of now. So those of you with dogs who take them walking, and I already noticed it's 11:26 in the morning. I have almost 7,000 steps. Hey, because of the dogs. The dogs made it all possible. So thanks, puffy brown dogs, for making me fit. All right, so solar-powered lighting coming soon here at the Ciota house. I have my Ryobi light right here, which is a Ryobi 330 lumens area light. I was just happening up here to do the show, and I grabbed this light because this light has been, well, demoted. After all these lighting solutions that I found recently with the LED panel lights from Ryobi that fold up, the 2-panel lights, I got a couple of those. I have a Ryobi work light on a stand, which I think is awesome. Oh my gosh. I think I put a video of that on TikTok, maybe. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember. But this one I hardly ever use now because it's not that bright. It has a USB, which I've never plugged anything to before. And it got demoted. The purpose for an application is now unclear. I'm not positive. I can hang it up in the room. It has a little hook right here on the top, but it's really not all that bright. It lit the room I'm in, the 10 by 14 room. I actually worked in here at night, but having seen some of the output from the other lights that I have, this one kind of pales in comparison, literally. It does USB charging, which is nice, but I have a little charger for that. My son's plugged into that right now. It's the USB adapter from Ryobi. There's no inverter. There's no plugs, 120 plugs on it, 120 volt, I mean. There's just a couple USB ports for charging, which is his tablet right now. That's all we're doing. And that's really great because it's really easy to take that on the go. It's really small because you're not incorporating an inverter to make that 120 volt AC signal. You don't have any fans. You don't have a big cumbersome unit. It's really, really small and perfect for that purpose. And it actually runs some lighting that I've used before, like the little ring lights, like you'd see like the vloggers use, like an 8 or 10 or 12-inch ring light. It has just a USB and then the wall adapter you plug in. With the USB and that particular device, the USB adapter from Ryobi, it'll work most of those lights. I ran them for a few hours during our last power outage, so it worked really well. So I think it's worth having. It's only $19. At least from Direct Tools, it's only $19. And for those of you who don't know what Direct Tools is, I bought a whole bunch of Ryobi stuff there because they sell it at a discount. There's like reconditioned stuff, like factory reconditioned, where it's just as good. And I tell you what, every piece that I bought like that has been just as good. The rigid 12-volt drill that I bought, I don't know how long ago. It was at Direct Tools in Myrtle Beach, Tanger Outlet Stores, Myrtle Beach. And I've had it for, I don't know, 10 years, a long, long time. Maybe not quite that long, but it's been a long, long time. It was reconditioned when I bought it. It's been great. It's been really, really great. One of the batteries kind of fell apart, like literally just kind of fell apart. So I don't have it anymore, but I have one battery, a charger. It was my service drill for several years. And if I went on a service call today, it would probably be my service drill today, on account that even though the Milwaukee M12 here is a service drill, it's way bigger and heavier than that rigid drill. The rigid drill is way more compact, not as much power and juice, but you know what? I don't need a hammer drill anyway. I don't need some of the power that this Milwaukee drill offers. The rigid is just fine. And I think that's one of the things I had to think about going forward is, what do I actually need versus what do I buy? Because people tend to want to buy the best of the best, at least tool guys do, but I don't always need that. So, but that being said, I was thinking about what would I want to buy? What's my tools I want to work towards? Because right now I'm doing a little savings program where I put money into like little plastic containers and lock it up in my safe inside of a mountain somewhere. So what do I want? What would I like to have? And I've been thinking about this because I'm doing woodworking projects a lot. I like to have a plunge router because I have like a fixed base trim style router, the Ryobi palm router that I use a lot. But I like to have a plunge router so I can just make those, just drop it down into the wood and make designs, spell things out, whatever I want to do. Just a little bit more versatility. A few things I can't do with the palm router. It's not very powerful. It's battery powered. Even if it is battery powered, being a plunge router, I'm sure it comes with a beefier battery, or I don't know. I saw a couple, I want to say it's maybe Metabo with a, and I don't know what they call their batteries. A lot of you guys know more about this stuff. Like it's a multi-volt battery. I'm not quite sure what it's all about, but it looks beefier to run these larger appliances. Because I saw another thing that I want, which is a battery-powered table saw. I think that would be great for me because I'm cutting all these small boards or ripping small boards. I have a Ryobi corded table saw right now, but I saw there's a Milwaukee one that looks really nice, really compact too, really great. I just watched a video on YouTube about the Metabo, and it is huge. It has like a capacity to rip like 36 inches. It extends out 36 inches from the blade. It's pretty crazy. It was wild. It's huge, and I'm sure it costs a ton, and I'm sure the Milwaukee one costs a ton too, but that is something I'd like to have. And of course I'd like to have, and I think I mentioned it before, the Milwaukee framing nailer, because I have this project that I built here. You see the building, and actually we're going to be picking up on that hopefully in the next few days because my windows and door arrived along with my T111 and my softening boards and my 1x4 trim for outside. So it's just a whole bunch of stuff arrived, and I'll be starting on that here really, really soon. Pretty excited about it because right now I'm looking at a canvas sheet behind this camera, and that's where two large windows are going to be in the future where I can look out in the yard and see my son Jackson playing, see my wife walk the dogs, and really that's what it's all about. It's about incorporating that happy family moment with my work in here, giving me the inspiration to do a good job, because I think you want to put yourself in a position where you're enjoying your work. You can be more productive. People can see when you're enjoying your work. They can tell the difference between I'm pretending to like something and I really like something. And I really enjoy like talking to you guys. I really enjoy building stuff. And I love my family. So putting that together, having this portal through the windows to the family life is just something that I really look forward to. It's almost like one of those paintings where you see back in the day where the family's sitting out there, everybody's laughing, they're throwing a football or something like that. idealistic, maybe a little bit romanticized, but I think you have to have a little bit of that. It's, as I recall, it's called hope, and it's a good thing to have. Hope and faith. Man, that sounds like this thing right here. Unbelievable. Hope and faith. Man. Jeez Louise. I mean, that's pretty good right here. Wait a second. Since we're talking about it, just a quick read from Hebrews 11 here, guys. I don't know if you're Bible fans or not, but it's a great wealth of information. It's necessary information, but for those of you who may not be familiar with it, the door into a larger spiritual life can be passed through by telling yourself it's just good information for interacting with people, for living here on planet Earth. And once you get in here, I'm hoping you realize that, hey, this is the ticket to a life that we're all heading for, and it's just going to be beautiful. But a small sliver of that before we talk a little bit more. So let's go right back to Hebrews 11, great examples of faith. Faith is the confidence that what we hope for will actually happen. It gives us assurance about things we cannot see. Through their faith, the people in days of old earned a good reputation. By faith, we understand that the entire universe was formed at God's command, that what we now see did not come from anything that can be seen. It was by faith that Abel brought a more acceptable offering to God than Cain did. Abel's offering gave evidence that he was a righteous man, and God showed his approval of his gifts. Although Abel is long dead, he still speaks to us by his example of faith. It was by faith that Enoch was taken up to heaven without dying. He disappeared because God took him. For before he was taken up, he was known as a person who pleased God. And it is impossible to please God without faith. That's the big line right there. And it is impossible to please God without faith. Anyone who wants to come to him must believe that God exists and that he rewards those who sincerely seek him. I think that's a wonderful passage about faith. You know, it's hard to have faith in something that you can't see. Because if you can't see it, I mean, what's there to believe? I believe in it because you can look around you and see the evidence of a world built beautifully by something much greater than man could ever imagine, and something much greater that can just happen by puzzle pieces falling into place. That's what I believe. Here's my super sliders. That's a non sequitur. Super sliders, my furniture glides. Bought these at Walmart of all places, the home of Hart Tools. I build a lot of little furniture pieces, so it's nice to have a little bit of these little legs you can tack in the bottom for people listening only. These are super sliders. Slide furniture effortlessly across any surface. Furniture glides. It's great. You leave them there permanently. They're tacked into place. So coming up this week, I talked about the Milwaukee stuff. Real excited about continuing to use that. We'll figure out what that LED flashing problem was. Maybe one of you in the chat's already answered that. If so, I'm grateful and thank you for that. I've enjoyed using the Hart shop blower, which I bought a couple weeks ago, $39.99, pretty cheap. But every time I cut boards out there on my sawhorses and create a mess, I just come by with that Hart shop blower and blow it off. Hart was offering some good deals on their batteries, which I might end up taking them up on. I believe there was two 2-amp-hour batteries for $59, or you can get two 4s for like $79, which is a pretty good deal. And with the Sawzall and the blower, you eat up a battery pretty quick. And all I have right now are 1.5 amp-hour batteries, which aren't that big. I look forward to saving up for Black Friday. That's one of the things I'm doing. I have one of my little savings bins. I have it labeled tools, and really what I'm dedicating that money for is when Black Friday rolls around, or the sales that may precede Black Friday that are similar, I can have enough money built up in there to really get one of those tools I was talking about, or wait for a new set, because I want to break into M18, and they'll probably have a set, good deal for Black Friday. I'm really split on where else to go as far as what power tool brand to explore next, because I want to continue to do that. So while I'm doing my jobs and stuff, I can offer you guys some perspective on different brands. I don't want to pigeonhole anything, and I feel like that's something I can offer you guys, is a look at other brands. So you can chime in on what you'd like to see. I was thinking about Makita, because I like some of their 18x2 platform stuff where you use like the lawn equipment. You just use the regular batteries. You just use two of them. I think that's pretty cool to be able to use the same battery. DeWalt is always a one that's real popular. So if you like DeWalt stuff, maybe mention why you want to explore a certain tool brand or a certain area. That would be very helpful. And for me, I'm just going to try to find some stuff that I can use. Whatever is extra, I typically sell. Like the lady who bought my furniture this week, I sold her one of the old Milwaukee, and I say old because it's 1 month old. But the regular M12 stuff, she's like, do you have any tools for sale? I was like, well, I definitely have plenty of tools. I'm sure I could sell. So I just sold her some of that stuff because I'm not going to use it because I have the fuel stuff now. So I don't need that. I have my rigid drill, which isn't going anywhere because that has sentimental value. I love the rigid drill. We're friends. We're friends. That's what it feels like. I've had the tool for a long time. It's hard to get rid of it. There's some stupid relationships you build with inanimate objects, like my hand truck from 15 years ago from Harbor Freight. The paint's off of it. The wrong size tires are on it. Wouldn't trade it for nothing. I love it. I have a Task Force miter saw. I'm not getting rid of that thing, and it would be worth nothing anyway. I never use it. It's a 10-inch miter saw. I have a Ryobi battery-powered one I really like now for small projects. Maybe I should get a corded version of that. I don't know. But I'll be working in here, fixing up this room. I'm going to do the outside veneer first, actually get the windows and doors in so I can lock it up. I have a lock on it now, but really it's not like Fort Knox here. Get the inside veneer on so I can get working. I want to put some insulation in these walls so I don't have to listen to rooster crows every time I do something. That's the projects going forward. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the show here today. I'm going to start doing these shows premiering in a row. So first will be Shop Talk, which will be at like 8 p.m. Saturday night. And then after that will be this show, Tool Fest. Usually probably it's going to end up like 8:45. And then after that, I'm going to do Men with Issues, which is our Bible study. So if you are curious about biblical stuff, my buddy Justin Beaver and I are working our way through the New Testament. We're starting right there at the beginning at the Gospel of Matthew. We're on like our 33rd show, which we've actually done more than that, but we started over and created a new series. We're going to work through the New Testament, we jump around a little bit toward the end of the show so you get a little exposure to different parts of the Bible. But check that out, because as much as we talk about tools and stuff, man, we got to put our efforts into an eternal prize too. So let's have fun while we're here with our tools, but let's also work towards something more eternally beneficial, which is why we want to study the Bible. So I hope you guys enjoy all three of the shows, those of you who are HVAC techs. If you're not an HVAC tech, you might not necessarily get as much from Shop Talk or HVAC Shop Talk as others might, but I try to keep it a little generalized too. So even a regular tool guy or a different trade could watch it and go, all right, well, I got something out of that. At least identify with the story that you told or the tools that you talked about or whatever. My name is Zacharypsioda. This is Tool Fest. You can follow us on all sorts of social media along with all the other shows. I think we have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You can email me at zacharypsioda, zacharypsioda @gmail.com. I really thank you guys for watching the show. Hope you stick around for Men with Issues. I'll put a link up here at the end screen, and I will see you guys next week.